RGSLTLOTM. Mehdi Seyed Monir. Words. Woe to you, O ignorant ones, for you know not all those of whom you've insulted. Just as with those you class close relationships, thus invest consideration in watering the seed, do so with each chosen gem, for they will hold the same desired loyalty. Be warned that there will be those who are blind and so cannot see you, therefore will not know the truth. To them it remains unknown that there's nothing to fear, as fear itself does not exist, and so they will choose to see the complete opposite. Among you there has been those, and for as long as you allow it, there will be those who are to some level aware of our capabilities once fully aware. Our truth, our potential, once freed from any constructed forms of a forced state of blindness, enables clear sight in order to reach true sovereign power, at the level of which will forever remain unmatched. The level of which will forever remain unreachable to all who remain in a state of blindness, to all who journey along in paths misguided. The level of which will forever remain the highest, the only one to forever own the title, the highest. The level of which above all will forever remain seated, above all levels in existence where all will forever remain seated. The level of which only opens its doors to those who reach its pureness, the level of which all have the ability to learn and arrive at. Starting with the opening of eyes acts as the force behind unveiling all the masks that are only worn to hide the truth by those in fear, those aware enough yet unable to be one with divine, for each there's reasons to. It is they who hid from view your true home, paradise, the divine, what's true and all that's you. It is they who are aware that if only one rightly climbed, gaining access to the highest in divine, it is they who fall powerless to face your feet for mercy. You have been warned. Among you there has been those, and for as long as you allow it, there will be those who are to some level aware of our capabilities, once fully aware. You will see the punishment in which they will exist in, but they will remain unable to see the paradise you exist in alongside. Love's one of some things we've lost, dust of which runs to meet some, fast with its gun to greet us, past left, as a bus that didn't stop, fuss we must make, is not seen of, just as if we agreed on it, being just. Love's one among named, it fades not. Lust fades, some have just one way on. Must changes, rise up to show face, trust famous set bellow, to then hide, just as the sun the coming the going, last day, change place, depart ways. Same way, month May, paves way, each month, each having their own say, to go away, return once 12th came, 11 sharing, one making it 12, 12 rays, one call that's to stay, creates a great support next to none, a light so great, it gave its love. Blessed those that known it its start, one lineage, gnosis, oneness its sacred. Made it so that all this will come, among you, those of which play a part, being one with, be how one brings it life, those of whom intention is pure, took it upon you to wrote books, with truth or lies or some from both, so long as no harm's been caused, no oppression on any has been in force, you of who are yet to have wronged, woe to you, those of whom are. Among the ones do not measure up, your day has come, for facing up. Tables turn to favor us, labels burn if been made up, correctly placed are all at once. Truth I speak, see it rolls of tongue. Seen by some, the blessed are stars. Every individual in existence journeys a path of growth of different types, shapes, and sizes, each personalized, not lacking in possessing a reason regardless of its direction in growth, being misguided or rightly guided in a path leading to truth, as truth has never claimed to be just one, the proof being that one's truth becomes truth from the moment one chooses it as truth, never taking away from what another chooses. Regardless, there's growth for all, even when opposing. All with a reason, and all with a contribution. This is the pure trueness in free will. So many with good intentions seeking a savior, a leader who rightly guides. Yet even if this be granted, felt like wetness not to doubt, to whom it's deaf won't hear it yell. The aim for all before who tried was not to lead but teach to reach. All that's possible when using the eyes to see. By being the example supporting what's preached. Assume throughout history what a mind could perceive, at a time when less evolved, but can we really be sure? Assume instead that was when we knew more, now we don't. Assume that once we would walk between worlds now unknown, a world we all still share until the doors slowly closed. Cause through the poison the confusion's results. Be it from those who live in fear, be it those that still not woke. Dividing us in levels, divine protection for us all. The more we grow, the further we roam, we come to learn that the keys we hold can open doors that once were closed. One thing I can promise to be undeniable truth is that anyone that seeks guidance, answers, growth with pure intentions from a place of love will never be ignored. All doors can be opened, and all areas of this place we all share is welcome to all who embrace with openness all the guidance available to all, to notice the signs, synchronicities however subtle, along with all the forms of communication in helping you keep on the path of growth. Assume that there's those among us who live in a new world and the universe lets them see things some don't. Assume that there's some among us that volunteered to be here in helping those trapped through the conditioning that's lead some among us to fall into a waking sleep state. Assume that all who have had or in the process of a spiritual awakening, as well as all who are religious, all who are non-believers, who identify as needing to see it to believe it, all the way to those who are classed as evildoers, psychopaths, etc. All possess in them a divine power and ability on some level, be it subconsciously not aware to its existence or the opposite. The thing that makes each individual's capability and strength different from one another is that the higher you evolve and exercise your ability from a place of love and path of purity, along with belief in yourself and the divine, the stronger and more connected you become. Whereas those described as evildoers are powerless, and even more so with any who are of love and light. Assuming, like mentioned previously, that we all started in the same place, sharing the same place with all doors open to all, allowing us to walk between worlds freely. Then looking at all the religions and some of their teachings, concepts and beliefs that say the same thing or similar concepts. Assume, for example, the story believed regarding Adam and Eve, and their being punished for breaking a rule regarding eating from one apple tree when they were in heaven. A choice made through free will, described in the story from being encouraged, tempted, influenced and manipulated by the snake to then give in to temptation and eat from the forbidden apple tree. Taking what's mentioned in some teachings, the Garden of Eden is both human and divine, while it is located on earth. With this in mind, let's assume that this implies the concept of heaven and hell being in the same place, being earth in this instance. Let's also take the story of the serpent, what's described as Satan, who was influencing Adam and Eve, as just a way to describe, in easier to understand terms, teachings to help guide all to their highest timelines. So let's replace the serpent to it being Adam and Eve's own minds talking them into giving in. Curiosity, a moment of weakness in keeping to the path of love and purity, resulting in lowering their level of consciousness, falling out of line with their connection to the divine, therefore, like I mentioned much earlier, causing the divide between those living in paradise being heaven but on earth, from those suffering on earth, in what we will describe as hell, stuck in lower levels of consciousness, restricted in having access to paradise, and unaware to the knowledge that they can gain access to it again if they climb. Let's say those who fall low enough below the level of having access to heaven will lose all knowledge of it, leaving them lost and on a journey of growth. Assume this to be a new life, new names, a new start among those who, like Adam and Eve, fell to a lower level from taking the wrong path. This new journey can go one of two ways. Some can in their own time awaken to the awareness and guidance towards the path of love and light, while some can repeat falling in a lower by taking the path to evil, becoming blind through all the confusion caused from the many kinds of poison paired up with conditioning that's driven by evil intent. This would explain the divide as well as the different levels of growth and fall to destruction. Let's assume it doesn't end here when it comes to levels. From here, let's say that those who go far enough in the path to evil will fall even lower, separating themselves even further to a place best described as spirits that are lost, powerless, mischievous yet restricted from having any access in putting into practice anything other than love with kind intentions. They are only among others who are the same level. But even for those who fall as low as this, the door is always open in growth and finding their way back. But as with any level in existence, this can only ever be achieved through true growth, change, and can never be faked or cheated, hence why some can stay there permanently. Going back to Adam and Eve and those on the same level, let's assume that there's a different process for each individual, as the journey will be different for each. For this reason, let's say those who still haven't had an awakening throughout their journey, yet lived their experience without bringing harm to another, invading another's freedom to choose forcefully in ways that leave the individual powerless to defend themselves and unable to escape or taking another's life. Then those that fit into this category will have it easier when reincarnating back in hell on earth, even if they lived their life, not speaking their truth, becoming unauthentic, having been disloyal, never stop telling lies, even if it's little white lies, or lies with good intentions aimed to prevent another's hurt. As these are things that only require experiences to help change your view positively, aid in growth from having a different experience with it when reincarnated, due to not having raised your level this time. This is an example for those not fitted in the category described as evildoers. The higher the level of evil expressed in this level of experience, the greater the lack of regret and empathy, the greater the lack of preventing a repeat, the less your chances of being able to reincarnate on the same level as this could cause the individual to fall lower to the level mentioned previously and having to grow from there first. Let's say this explains why there's some who leave the experience earlier by what's described as dying, why others live very long. The ones that leave early are those who have grown to the point of gaining access to higher levels and have chosen to leave to start new in the higher level. At this point, there's many ways the individual might make the choice to leave. Some can remember past lives, even if only partly. Some can make the choice while unaware they have as the way they connect best or have the ability in question strong enough to use. For example, connecting, remembering through dreams, and deciding to leave in that state of awareness, which always overpowers a lower level of awareness. As the higher the awareness, the closer the distance to the truth self, the higher self, the full self you could say, which is growing through the lower level that's journeyed on. Don't worry though, this will be a mutual agreement. In order to manifest into becoming, the individual will have the awareness needed to arrive at making this decision. Therefore, no truth will ever be withheld. So to conclude the example, let's say this can explain how randomly an individual could be involved in an accident, or the many examples available in being a cause to someone leaving this experience abruptly. The choice can be made when choosing to volunteer on a level of experience where they will carry out a part in helping in some shape or form where it's needed for another, or the betterment of a level's growth, resulting in less who are good yet stuck to suffer. or to better aid in guiding those stuck to reach higher, even if they in the process become stuck and forget their purpose. This is one of the most selfless acts. Choices one can make when already on a higher level and with the awareness that they might get stuck and never come higher. We could assume there's many other ways to make the choice to leave. As for those who live among the longest, in regards to what's deemed the average, this can be for one of three reasons. 1. The person has not yet learned what was needed for growth, or is what the person needed to learn for reasons like becoming aware of your wrongs or living with them long enough so to learn. Let's assume this happens for those who feel regret, remorse for their wrongs, asked for forgiveness, or left suffering being a self-imposed punishment. So we could see the longer life as a way to save the individual a second journey, as the lesson has been half learned through its awareness only, to know it's wrong and to feel pain from remorse. In this case, this puts the individual halfway there, as the rest of the learning is to prevent repeating the wrong. Then the final lesson to forgive yourself fully, as only then growth can be gained. Another reason why some experience long life, again, comes down to choosing to. Even when reaching higher from growth, some still make the choice to stay. Reasons could be for guiding loved ones or people needing it most. Some live long,